Bilson here. Marquis Bilson, 1420 WEMB Sports Radio. Just before I get to, two sports that didn't get any publicity last night because the NFL draft. This is NFL draft baseball. We'll talk about it with Josh Brown, bottom of the next hour, by the way. And also, hockey. Yeah, he kicked off second round of the playoffs last night. Tell you what happened. Real exciting game between the Blue Jackets and the Bruins. Anyway, want to just complete some idea here. These are projections, waterfootball.com. Players to look for, where they could go. Teams. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, actually, are big winners in the NFL draft. I've said that. We'll talk to Vito Stolino about that next week, I hope. Because he's down there in Jacksonville and has been covering him for a million years. But a couple other things that finish up the fourth round. I mentioned at the end of my opening monologue, Kyle Phillips potentially, and actually it was in the second part of the program, but I mentioned Kyle Phillips possibly being drafted by the New York Giants, 7th round. That's where waterfootball.com has him projected. Now think about this. What if the Giants got both Phillips and his old, I assume he had a team. I'm trying to remember here when Phillips came to the Vols. But anyway, Jalen Hurd. Remember him? Got him being taken as a wide receiver. All right. 4th round, New York Giants. Now that's intriguing. Would you be more apt to root for the Giants? I've always thought, what do the Vols fans think about the Giants? I remember when Peyton Manning was drafted by the Colts, and now all of a sudden you got, the area, the Colts became the NFL team of the Tri-Cities and of Knoxville. People started wearing Colts jerseys to Vols games when Manning was drafted by them. Anyway. But did nothing more. We talked about what is probably the worst thought of NFL franchise. The Indianapolis Colts probably were the worst thought of NFL franchise before Peyton Manning got there. In all honesty, they scorned Baltimore. They lost a lot. And then all of a sudden Manning resurrects them. Well, I wonder then, though, now that Manning is, a Bronco, for crying out loud, that was never going to be a real, lasting legacy. Colts and the Tri-Cities. It was only going to be when Manning was around. We knew that. And we also knew you had to be of the era. If you started following the Vols, let's say, in 2002, Peyton Manning didn't mean as much to you as it would have someone who watched him the 4 years that he played. So he gets that. But I'm just curious here. Let's just say Jalen Hurd is drafted by the, by the Giants. They need somebody to replace OBJ, right? And you got Saquon Barkley. Do you root for Eli Manning? Do you root for Hurd? Do you root for that to be a passing combo if you're a Vols fan? Because, after all, a lot of time has passed since Eli Manning was a Ole Miss Rebel, and you can't blame a Manning for going to play at Ole Miss. In fact, the reason why you love Peyton Manning is he didn't go to Ole Miss. But you can't blame a Manning for going to Ole Miss. And, the more and more we hear about it, and the way people around here think of Butch Jones, can you really blame Jalen Hurd for going to Baylor and transferring? What does that propaganda VFL really mean? Is Hurd a VFL? Or is he a Baylor Bear about ready to get paid by, theoretically, I'm just going, if Hurd was drafted by the Giants 4th round, as waterfootball.com projects him to be, how would you take that? I'd root for him. After we root for the story, right? And all that. But I'd root for the story of Manning to Hurd. I think that would be a fine way for a great pro to end his career. I am talking like John Houseman, I don't know. By the way, 4th round, also if you're a Cowboys fan, how about Mike Weber, Ohio State? back up to Zeke Elliott, running back. That's what WalterFootball.com thinks. They have the 5th round being the most boring round in the history of pro football drafts. I mean, there's just nobody in there when I went through WalterFootball.com, because they're one of the people to do a 7-round mock draft, you see. Then I said, yeah, that would be interesting to an East Tennessee audience if somebody took that. Nobody, okay? I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, 6th round's a little bit different, however. So, taking a look at this, you're a Steelers fan, by the way. We mentioned that Walter Football thought that they might select with their primo 3rd-round pick, Miles Boykin out of Notre Dame. Not that far away from South Bend, I guess, Western Indiana versus Western Ohio. But what about Deontay Johnson out of Toledo, 6th rounder? I'm just hoping to find somebody who can fill Antonio Brown's shoes. It's basically what that would be if the Steelers are selecting multiple wide receivers. And if that's the way this breaks down. The other thing is that I think you can safely say it's sort of like the Cardinals. I mean, Rosen and Murray, although it looks like Murray will be their man. You know, you draft quarterbacks back-to-back first round, you can't help but find a star, right? Think about that. Other things, what do you think of Benny Snell, Kentucky running back? Walter Football has him going 6th round to the Tampa Bay Bucks. There's just mock draft right here, things to look for in the 6th round. One of the intriguing ideas that I saw was who WalterFootball.com had completing the 6th round of the NFL draft, which will be tomorrow, by the way. And they had, I say completing, but they had Hunter Renfrow, New England Patriots, taking him. Yeah, remember Renfrow? 2-star prospect, not even on a lot of recruiting boards. All he wound up doing was catching the game-winning pass in the college football championship game for Clemson 2 years ago. And you saw where Davos Swinney got a 10-year extension, $93 million a day. Off the likes of people like Renfrow. Remember what I tell you? I mean, the mock draft, and you look at, I remember him. I think he'll be good. That's why the NFL draft is so, intriguing. Plus, everybody's in first place. And the Arizona Cardinals right now are the Super Bowl team, basically. And I mean that, not that, yes, they will go to the Super Bowl because of Murray. But they're the most highly thought of. They're the most talked of team because they have the first pick, because they get the big star, because now hope springs eternal, and they would go number 1. But what about that? Hunter Renfrow, New England Patriots, he worked his way up at Clemson, caught the game-winning pass in the national title game against Alabama back 2017-2016 season. And, they said, Welker, Amendola, all these guys, doesn't Renfrow fit in with that sort of Patriots wide receiver mode? And I can't argue with that. So maybe, think about that. Could Hunter Renfrow go 6th round to the Pats? Could be. 7th round, and I always sort of debate whether or not you're better off in a 7th round being selected or trying to go with a free agency route. That's one of the things I kind of struggle with. And I mention this because I kind of think, you can choose what team you think you would fit onto if you're a free agent. Now, something else. You're going to have, though, a leg up on making the team, because scouts and general managers and all this do not like to say they made a mistake. So if everything's equal between, say, a 7th-round pick and a free agent, they're probably going to take the 7th-round pick. Money, there's not a whole lot of, money you're going to be able to negotiate as a 7th-round pick versus a free agent, which is going to be take our offer or leave it. And it's kind of that way also in the 7th round. But it basically, do you want to have that, touched by the magic wand of the team, or do you want to choose your own team to go to and where you think you fit in? Of course, hey, they wouldn't be selecting you if they didn't think the NFL team did that you would fit in on the roster, they wouldn't be drafting you in the first place. So, again, it sort of is, do you have more, free agent versus seventh round, do you have more faith in your own ability to find a team and maybe deal with any prejudices you may have as a free agent? Or do you, sort of want that, well, we drafted him. Don't really expect much. Yes, he could be cut, but dealing with the general manager and the coach and all that, the front office saying, not wanting to admit they made a mistake right off the bat. Few are really criticized for that mistake, but nevertheless. Anyway, seventh round, here's what WalterFootball.com kind of, they're the sexy picks. Elijah Holyfield out of Georgia going to the Jets to back up Le'Veon Bell. Yes, Elijah Holyfield, the son of Evander Holyfield, former heavyweight champion of the world. So I think it was, 24, recently, we just passed the 24th anniversary of Michael Moore becoming the heavyweight champion. And it was he became the heavyweight champ in 94, so it was the 25th anniversary, and he knocked out Holyfield. Then 3 years later, they had a rematch, and Holyfield knocked out Moore. So Moore was the first lefty, the first southpaw heavyweight champ. Okay, it wasn't Rocky Balboa. So there you go. Other intriguing selections of the seventh round. I already said that Kyle Phillips, WalterFootball.com, has him, the Tennessee Vols defensive lineman, being the only player from the Vols being selected, and they have him taken by the Giants. Okay. I found this to be kind of intriguing, that, let's see here, Trace McSorley, the Penn State quarterback, because you kind of look at quarterbacks and where they might wind up and so on and so forth. They had him going to the Lions. They'll need to groom someone eventually to replace Matt Stafford. I'm not sure it's going to come in the seventh round for the Lions to replace Matt Stafford, to tell you the truth. But anyway, those are some ideas with the NFL draft, where it could come out to, as they looked at, that's the WalterFootball.com. They do a 7-round draft. I thought I'd share that with you, where these guys could go, and the sexy pick. Right now, I love the Jaguars. I love what the Redskins are doing. Cardinals, I can see it. I think the 49ers are definitely stock up. Something people are not talking about is the David Cutcliffe sort of tutoring when it comes to the New York Giants, Eli Manning, to, Daniel Jones. Although Jones didn't play a whole lot. I mean, he didn't set the world on fire at Duke, but then again, it's Duke. But he's got the physical skills and all that, so look at that. But I think that's why, I think that's why the Giants probably ultimately took Jones and not, let's say, Drew Lock or someone like that. I think Lock is the best quarterback in the draft, so whoever gets him, maybe Miami in the second round, would get a real coup. Also, I think that the Steelers gave up too much for Devin Bush. There you go. That's my draft in a nutshell. When we return, Jerry Bonkowski, the Rev of Speed, talking about the race in Talladega and more NASCAR. That's coming up right after this.